4 is passage, it's just to the front side. Variation 5,
I'm gonna make a motion, Jan, if I can, if we can stop now,
I think that's,
before we get to 5.
it's the last variation.
I know, but that's still gonna infringe on Iggy's property again.
Yeah.
And we may go into this a little bit longer.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my suggestion. If the board wants to continue, that's.
When is the next hearing?
Our next normal meeting date would be February
First.
First Monday of February.
February 1st. 31st is, no, it'd be the second, I believe.
Second, I think.
If it's not a huge inconvenience to the board, I do have a time-based contract. And I have had this thing under contract now for 5 or 6 months, and I'm starting to run out of time. If you want to defer it till February, I'll work with that if it's
Or
possible.
what about the 26th?
Same issue.
Same issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we just take a look at it now and see what we do?
I agree with that, Jan, because most of it we have already discussed in number 4. Number 5 is almost identical, it's the same thing.
That is, okay.
I don't wanna tie you up.
See,
I'm sorry.
No, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, as I
I got an
as I
impatient
read
seller.
the applicant proposed that when the property to the east is vacated and redeveloped, it would then be landscaped. And so I would still say, no, I think that that property needs to be landscaped now. So my original thought was correct. I'm saying that
The landscaping on the east side.
landscaping on the east side needs to be done. So that's why I'm saying that doesn't, no,
So that still remains in the vote.
yes,
I'm for.
I'm for, because it does include the east, doesn't,
It's the landscape.
yes. It's asking for the variance that the east not be redeveloped until the later date. And I'm saying it should be.
Which does bring us then to
Fine.
variation number 5, landscape buffer and screening on
The east side.
the east side. The ordinance requires a minimum 10-foot landscape setback. And we're asking to be excused from that along the east side due to the fact that the lot to the east is fully fenced and the property owner is currently storing items there. The proposal is that when the land to the east is vacated or redeveloped, required landscaping and buffer zone would then be installed. The issue of the east side needs to be discussed.
And the only thing I'd add, Mr. Person, is we don't even have 10 feet of property there,
Okay.
so there's no way we can.
No way we can.
Well, we've already approved this at the plus 30.
Yeah, but that's talking about west and north, that one.
Right, we've already talked about that, that's already been approved.
That line, that part could be stricken.
The west, yes, the west and north, we already did that.
Yeah.
was-
That one you can remove. So actually, we would need to change the variance because no matter what happens, you don't have 10 feet.
Right.
Right. He's got existing site condition.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Jim, we did do the western one, correct?
Yes.
We
Right,
did.
that was number 2.
Right, that was a two.
Based on existing site conditions. There's a variance from the 10-foot requirement. One.
Question is, how much is there between the lot line, that where he's parking, the lot line
Building.
and the building?
It's about 4 feet.
About 4 feet. To current,
Or between 5 and 10.
Oh, 5 survey, Brian?
Yeah, in the front, which would be on the south end, you've got 6.38 feet, and on the north end, you have 7.74 feet. On the south end, you have 6.38 feet at the front of the building to the property line. And at the north end of the building, of the existing building, not the addition, you have 7.74 feet per the survey.
So to the existing, to the current configuration, the current property line.
Correct.
Seven, depending on where it is, 3.7 or 2.25. Here it is.
They don't have the land, so is it a variance?
Yeah, based on existing site conditions,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. There's something you don't have.
Break down a question. Number 5 here, seeing, to me, 4 is almost part of 5 in a similar way, so.
Right.
They're related.
Yeah.
I think the question is, the intent here, what I'm seeing in your request, your intent is to really never put a fence down the east side.
Yeah.
This is just landscaping and not putting a fence, perimeter fence, all the way down.
What we talked about with Brian in our pre-application process was to hold off on putting the fence until that property got redeveloped.
Okay, so you are planning eventually to put a fence down the
Correct.
whole, well, that's what I just don't see where that actually says that here in this variance number 5.
You know, it doesn't. What it says at the end of this paragraph says the issue of the east side of the property can be addressed at the ZBA meeting. So I think that was acknowledged as being an open item.
So then we would make that as part of this revised variance, that fencing would be installed when that property is vacated
Or redeveloped.
or redeveloped.
And then Commissioner Thompson, what I'll do in the interim is sit down with the owner, have him remove his property, put in, again, parking curbing along my lot line, and then I can improve the whole side of that building with paint and with glass block, and I can do some of the required landscaping, but not the fence.
Well, I should talk about how to word,
Conditions form, because I want to approve the less footage because of site conditions. I want to deny the leaving the existing in that section. And adding the curb or adding how to word that. Sure.
Two motions?
That'd be,
Yeah,
that'd be more than happy to.
we could do like an A, B, and a C if you want. Okay, the first variation would be, and again, it'll be based on the survey, would be, it's almost a 3.75 foot and a 2.25 foot variation going from the south end to the north end of the east side of the property. So if that's 3.75 to 2.25, 2.25 foot variation from the 10-foot requirement. Okay, so that's based on existing site conditions. So that would be the first variations.
Correct.
The second would be that applicant will install temporary concrete curbing along the east side. You want that
In
in
lieu
lieu of the,
That's in lieu of the 6-foot-high fence.
Until such time as the property is redeveloped.
Until, correct.
fence until the property is redeveloped, and at that point, applicant will put in the 6-foot
The
fence.
6-foot. Continue to
Develop
develop.
or vacate.
Either.
Well, expansion,
Yeah.
right? The Biggie decides just to leave
Yeah.
and not redevelop it, get rid of stuff again.
Oh.
Correct. So then that would be the, so I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
Two parts.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, the first part of the motion would be that the board would recommend approximately 3.75 to down to 2.25 foot variation from the 10-foot landscape buffer requirement on the east side of the property due to existing site conditions. That's A. And then B is that applicant will put in, at this point, some concrete curbing along the whole east side of the property in lieu of the 6-foot-high fence requirement until such time as the property, the Iggy property to the east is redeveloped or vacated, and at that point, applicant will install the 6-foot fence. Got it?
Yep, that's it. That's the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Second, Mr. Harris. Public comments? Questions?
I have a question. Is that what we're voting on right now?
Yes.
Yes, we had the findings
Yeah.
first on it.
They have your findings.
Okay, I have a question for Rick then. Are you open to that, Rick?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and the findings, again, will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to the adjacent property. Will not increase the hazard from fire and other dangers to said property. Actually, it could probably help. Will not diminish the taxable value of land and buildings throughout the village. Not a problem. Will not increase the congestion of the public streets. Not a problem. Will not otherwise impair the public health, safety, comfort, morals, and welfare of the inhabitants of said village. Not a problem. And the purpose of the variation is not based exclusively upon a desire to make more money out of the property. Not a problem. Are we ready for a vote? All right. Take the roll call vote.
Mr. Fontanaro?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Mr. Marisol, yes. Mr. Ronstadt?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Magnuson?
Yes. The zoning board will recommend to the Board of Trustees that the revised variance based on our new motion be granted to the applicant.
Jan, I have a question.
Yes, Peter?
Did Rich revise it? Are you still saying no to number 4, Rich? Or are you saying yes?
It had to be no to number 4 when it was voted on, because